Hello everyone, Tucker here at BioWare Follower, and yesterday at E3 we got the first look at BioWare's new IP titled Anthem and some gameplay. Now we learned a lot from the gameplay trailer, but we also have many questions about what we saw. Now let's go over the big ones that are bugging us. Now before we get into the questions, I want to note that we are not including story questions, as there is very little we know about the story. The questions are only based upon what we saw in the gameplay trailer. Now the first one is, what kind of abilities will we be able to use in the game? We were shown some very offensive abilities like the mortar and the 1,000 of rockets that our character fired. We see a few other abilities and it looks like you will be having 3 abilities similar to Andromeda. But what kind of abilities will we be able to use? Are there defensive abilities where you could throw down a shield or boost your armor? Are there stealth abilities where you could go invisible or maybe silently take out an enemy? There are many hopes we have based around the abilities, and we can't wait to learn more about them as more and more information gets revealed. Now, John says that your suit is highly customizable, but nothing more than that. How customizable is it? Are we able to change out the arms and legs to fit a style we want? Can we possibly have different right arm than a left arm, for example? What do the color options look like, and how in depth can you change the color of your suit? To build upon that, how many suits are available to us? We have 3 different ones that we can see in the trailer, but we don't know if those are the only 3 that we can use. How many suits can we have though? Are we able to have multiple ranger types for a different playstyle, or are we only allowed 1 suit per type? There are hundreds of more questions that we have about the suit, but we don't have the time to put each one down, and we have some other questions that are bugging us that we want to go over. Now, going off of the customizable suits, how much of our character can we customize? We know that BioWare has always allowed your character to be customized in their RPG games, but will that also happen in this game? It looks like our character is mainly going to be behind a suit, but that does not mean that we don't want to have a custom-made character that we can look at when we are walking around the hub areas behind the wall. I know many people who spend hours customizing their character, and I am sure that they want to know the answer to this question very soon. At the end of the trailer, we see something appear that is called a Shaper Storm. The entire area gets dark and stormy, and leaves and debris fly past the characters in a very impressive looking scene. What we are wondering though, is this something that can happen anywhere? Is there dynamic weather that can happen to you throughout the game? For example, if we are high up in the snowy mountains, is it possible for it to start snowing? Can it start raining while we are searching through the jungle areas for loot? Can the game switch from day and night, and with that possibly introduce us to new enemies? If all of these are in the game, this will add a range of amazing detail that will impress many players. Now this is not something that was hard to miss. In a very impressive shot, the 2 characters we follow in the trailer fly around in a jetpack, and that is how it appears that we'll be going from the wall to the open world. What we are wondering though is, how far can we go with the jetpack? It doesn't look like there's a fuel meter or anything on the HUD while the character was flying around, but that might have been so the trailer can show off some of the scenery uninterrupted. If it is unlimited, that is awesome. If it is limited, can we upgrade it to go further out into the open world? This small detail is something that many fans want to know, seeing as how this game is built around exploring the open world. This is a small detail that you might have missed, but when you see the other players and their names pop up, so do their level and symbol next to them. The symbols are all visible at the end of the trailer, where we can see Michelle has a shield, Paul has a rocket, Kim has a star, and Sandra has lightning. What we want to know is, what do those mean? My guess is that they're showing buffs that the character has in their skill tree set to, or possibly something similar to the profile classes in Andromeda, but other than that, we have no idea. There isn't much that we can go on with just a small image next to the name, but still, this is something that we want to know. While taking some fire, we see our characters diving underwater. Now visually, the area looks amazing, but how much of it can we actually explore? In the first image released, we see a huge open water area, and we want to know, can we explore that? We see the person getting a notification of discovering a new area, so we know that there will be some areas, but what is down there? Is there loot that we can take? Caves to explore? Can we possibly find a sunken city? If we find Atlantis in Anthem, honestly, I don't think I would be disappointed at that. Before the characters jump off the wall, in the background you can see a mountaintop with a skull on it. Now, what does this skull mean? There are some theories around the Anthem subreddit that it could either be a boss fight area or possibly a raid. While a boss area would be cool, having raids in the game would be even better. Similar to Destiny or World of Warcraft, raids would allow you to take on some really cool fights and bosses, and if you succeed, you can get some amazing loot. I am pretty sure there isn't a single person that would be complaining if raids are in Anthem. So could that possibly be what the skull means? So there are the 8 questions that we have for Anthem after watching the gameplay trailer. What questions do you have? Let us know in the comments down below, and while you are there, give this video a like and hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video. If you are a fan of video game themed t-shirts, check out InsertCoinClothing.com, where you can get t-shirts themed around Mass Effect, Uncharted, Pokemon, and other games as well. To get 20% off on your order, use the promo code ICMEF20.